It's like, okay.
You guys heard the no keep strat? Oh my goodness. I at this point, man, and no matter what we see for the next draft or map, I just feel like it's a coin toss is who's going to take this because there's so much back and forth.
You know one of the
game.
maps that's still available, right?
Hit me with it. What is it?
Braxis.
Oh, not like this. There's no way. I swear, if we go to Braxis as the final
Last map,
my mind would be blown. Not like this.
Here we go.
Okay. Can you imagine if Ballistix did that? Just moved over the Braxis and was just like, boys, we've been saving this cheese for a hot while. Let's go.
Dragonshire brings up a very interesting call here because this is something I think both teams excel on, but KSV in particular always kind of stands out to me on this battleground in terms of how strong that they are, but this is anybody's game at this point. I mean, I'm trying to look at this. It seems that every time you get map pick, the enemy team wins. Look at that. I mean, literally, if you get map pick, the other team wins.
You mean first pick is pretty good?
What do you mean? I watched the Western Clash Grand Finals when always second pick won. Oh, you're bamboozling me here. I was told second pick is busted.
It's all in the meta, Brad.
I guess, you know, when you play in the exact same patch that the meta constantly swaps and somehow it's a different stat.
It's 50%, I think, when we probably look at this at the end of it. It's balanced on one end, balanced on the other, meet in the middle. Come on, guys. Simple geometry, math, trigonometry, all that stuff.
What's up?
Simple math.
Simple mathematics.
Yeah, but at this point, it comes down to the last map, as you guys already said, and I would not have thought it possible. But once again, Ballistix makes the turnaround happen. They were behind when they played against Tempest on the map. They turned it around. They did it again. And Hooligan is just the driving force. You guys in here, you can't really hear it, but outside there, that kid is just screaming.
Oh,
do you can hear him?
Do you guys remember? This is the scene last year. He's screaming, drop the beat.
Yeah, drop the beat.
Drop the beat.
There it is.
He's like, look, I don't know much English, but drop the beat.
Yeah. I mean,
we don't have Lucio this go.
No, sadly, not the case. Not
he was actually even saying drop the beats.
The one thing that I noted when I was luckily enough, but the series before this, I had the off, right? I was sitting out the whole time watching Hooligan, and he was just, it felt very much like he was not willing to let his team lose. Like, even when they were down behind, like, he was just so, I don't want to use anger because I don't think it was just raw passion. And he was like, I do not care how far behind we are, we're not losing this game. I don't speak Korean, but that very much felt like the tone.
The crowd is very much on their side as well. Like, Ballistix
I heard
at this
them in
point
here.
is the fan favorite for sure. Every single time, they had not even a kill, just an engagement that they initiate, and the crowd goes wild. And all of a sudden, there is a massive roar. If they get a double kill, outside, they are just completely exploding. It's insane. So Ballistix has definitely won the hearts of the crowd already, and that's basically the sixth man that is propelling them forward here.
Game number 7. This draft will determine your Eastern Clash champions. KSV Black versus Ballistix starts off with the Genji. Maev still sticking to the normal ban, every ban so far.
Hit me with the mouth
for
Urian.
Ballistix. Here's the mouth.
Do we just go down the Uther Hanzo route just in case the Tracer comes in?
No.
Unless they might be feeling the garage, guys. They might be feeling the garage.
After Hooligan with that big play, I mean, I would feel that way. Then if you somehow see the Tracer come in later on, it's just like, I don't care. Did you watch me get that outplay? To be honest with you, I don't know if I want Rich on a hyper carry. He's been making the plays, but he's also been making the reason they're struggling in some of these games. Also, Junkrat is something we have to keep our eyes on in a map like Dragonshire. The control that it provides, I wouldn't even be surprised if we saw Ballistix maybe go for a wild hair and look for it up here or KSV before the secondary bans.
You could also see Dehaka again. This is another map where Ballistix already has shown Dehaka in the previous series and done really well up to that last final moment when he just didn't play well around the vision.
They're spending a lot of time. It's got to be the debate around the Uther Hanzo potentially coming in with the Garrosh at this point. And I think a lot of it will kind of hinge on these first 2 picks here for Ballistix. Uther, obviously, I think we're going to be one of them.
Uther Tyrael double invuln. So sticking to what we saw more pattern from them yesterday, which I forgot about because KSV Black has just been banning Uther so much, so consistently that we've never had the double invuln possible for Ballistix.
Could actually see there just behind Tist a moment ago, Noblesse, former pro player, former very well-decorated pro player here in
former Ballistix member.
Former Ballistix member as well. And KSV, when they won BlizzCon, credited Noblesse coming over to their team as coach. You can rest assured they are spending a lot of time discussing this. They take the Hanzo away. They are themselves picking up the Garrosh.
I'm a little concerned to see the Hanzo without either one of the burst healers or excuse me, invulns available. I don't know if we're going to see anything, you know, obviously to be able to accent with the Malfurion to try and keep him alive, not available. I thought maybe we see, again, that adjustment for concern towards the Junkrat. And with that in mind, if Ballistix does not intend to pick that up for themselves, I'd like to see them possibly look for a ban here.
They banned it out several times and for very good reason here, but also with Hanzo now played by Rich, he had a pretty big impact every single time you played him. And as we said before, with Tracer, it just feels on one hand he makes the plays, and on the other he turns a bit into a liability. So I like that they move away from it here and give him Hanzo, where he seemed much safer in the previous games where you had him.
I just wonder where we're going to see Ballistix, what route they're going to go down, especially now the fact that the Hanzo is going to be taken. You can probably guess that the Tychus will be banned away from them. So SDE, you know, and SC share the Greymane at times on either of them play it. But it would seem that in this scenario would likely be SC on Greymane. So where do we see SC go to after this?
KSV Black is actually waiting quite a bit, not snap banning that Tychus as they've done in the previous games. If they would leave it open here, that would answer your question already.
If they don't go in there, I'm really struggling if I want to see it to be a top. I think it should be a solo. Something like a Blazer, Dahaka. I normally would be like, I would see Dahaka on a map like Dragonshire, but I can't help but feel like Blaze is going to have a higher impact. Even though, again, the global threat is very real, I personally feel like Blaze has shown to be far and above that. Avala, afraid of maybe the double support or hypercarry approach for SC and friends. We saw that from them earlier on Dragonshire.
They played it, but is it really something that you have to respect at this point? It wasn't successful, and every time we've seen that Vala double support, since the changes that came through at the end of last year, it hasn't been that impactful. Is that really the strategy that you are afraid of?
I would argue it's because that whatever they think the generic pick is going to be here for Ballistix and they expect out of them, they aren't afraid of, and the only thing they don't want to deal with is like more of that kind of tier 3 or the unique strategy like the Vala that is overly problematic. Also can apply a little bit of pressure. I do question whether or not it's worth it, but I can't help but feel like, I mean, it's KSV Black we're talking about here.
I think it's the now Tassadar threat that we didn't see before. We kind of saw the double support, but it was more around the true double support. I think if you can throw Tassadar into that mix, maybe you can find a different level of value on it, because Tassadar does bring a little bit of a fight to, or a little bit of damage to the fight. But Greymane Tychus still available, two very prominent heroes for Ballistix. Let's see where they go. Wow. Wow.
Tracer Tassadar.
That is not what I expected here at all.
Expecting a Greymane to be able to back all that up?
No, they still need a solo.
Yeah, they need a solo.
Tassadar is going to have to be the brunt of their wave clear. I think the problem...
I mean, he is going to be the wave clear.
Well, I think the problem is that Tracer's going to be needing and looking for kills. Tassadar is going to have to pretty much be there, but Tassadar is also going to have to be that hero that flexes over to the mid lane to clear those waves.
But the thing is, they played a very similar setup where they back then went into Vala, and I think that's the reason why KSV Black bans Vala out. That was against Blossom. And in that setup, they actually had Blaze as their last pick, so I feel if they get their hands on Blaze, they will definitely lock that in again. It's just that Blossom was able to take them down, and it was more, it looked very much like a quad support Vala, like all in on that idea. So I'm not sure if they really needed to ban Vala out here, since even with that, Ballistix didn't find a success. Blaze is now taken away from them, and so is Tychus. And now the question, of course, remains, what is Ballistix substituting in now for Blaze, which they didn't get, which KSV Black, because of that game that Ballistix played against Blossom, took away from them?
The Dahaka seems safe and normal. Malthael maybe a backup option. Leoric outside shot here.
I would not want to see the Malthael, I don't think.
I 100% agree.
It seems like it's going to be too lacking of any execution towards anybody. Yeah, Tracer can be the one to track it down, but the Tassadar mixed with the Tyrael on top of it, it just doesn't feel like the DPS is going to be there. It does do a little bit when it comes to the Blaze and the Garrosh, but this is Dragonshire. We need to be worried about your waves more than your team fight most of the time.
It feels like it has to be Dahaka. You have the global available, you have your self-sustain.
I like the Leo. I like it, honestly. Even better than Dahaka. I don't feel like even if they go in the Dahaka route, it's going to provide enough presence. And again, I don't think he has enough sustained macro presence currently as a Sand. He's a walking brush talk into the drag most of the time. I like the fact that we see it's going to match the Blaze a lot better and be less demanding, because we talked about how struggling in wave clear this is going to be. Leo can at least match that a little bit better.
I'm afraid for Leoric, to be honest.
I mean, it's going to be hard no matter what. I feel like that last pick was. But that's what happens when the Vala ban comes out and you pick a Tyrael, or excuse me, a Tracer Vala, or Tassadar, wow, in that rotation, right? With the 3-4. I feel like once that happens, there's almost no hero I look at that last line and I go, oh, this is it. Maybe Arthas. That was one I wasn't considering that pairs well with all those, but still suffers a bit.
You have an argument with Leoric. One of the reasons I would have gone for the Haka instead, that I just feel once the map opens up, it gives you another option of trying to play around your opponent a bit and a bit more safety on the map.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. And especially post 20, you can make always, you know, it's just how often do we see it get to that point, and it's like whether or not the Blaze would provide too much threat before that.
One way or another, it's going to be a tough road. The final map in the series as we are heading into Dragonshire. Ballistix going up against KSV Black to crown the HGC Eastern Clash champion.
It's all come down to this, Dreadnought. Game 7 between these two teams. And Ballistix putting their faith into the Tracer, who's been the hot hero as it was at the Western Clash, now became the most contested hero here in terms of that range damage, kind of being, I don't know, it's so hard to say, is it the right choice? Is she the every game choice? And right now, Korea believes that it is.
Leo started the lane towards top on his own. Blaze is going to go ahead and match that, but KSV has a small rotational advantage, using Tychus to kind of choke out. And this is what we started talking about, right? This is the Tassadar, the Tracer, the Tyrael, and Uther, the 4-man that they have presented. It is very, very crucial that Leo dominates over into the solo that he has with Blaze, and then be able to cater towards Tyrael in the mid lane, because they are otherwise going to be following KSV constantly in rotations, and this will happen. There's the flip, the knock-up, forcing out the recall. SC is going to be fine for now. Zhongha ends up using that drain life on to reset. Things are going to be fine in the skirmish, but notice how responsive Ballistix already is in this game. Again, on Dragonshire, you cannot let that happen.
See SC and SDE down here in the bottom lane. Rich taking quite a bit of chunk out of the health bar of Tassadar there, which is played by SDE, and that's something that both of those heroes have incredibly small health pools, and if they are under any threat, it's going to be a lot onto Magi to keep them alive with that Uther, but the dive threat with the Hanzo Tychus isn't necessarily there in the same manner as we would see in other compositions coming out from KSV.
Hooligan controls both of these shrines, maybe going to start a channel here. It's a 3 versus 2. KSV, Magi actually going to try and sacrifice himself just to make sure they get the Dragonite. It's going to be worth the trade as they do end up picking up that Dragonite. Wow. Just how much can they make happen with it?
I mean, a minute 50 seconds in, not going to be the strongest Dragonite, but definitely if you can get down some of these towers the same way that we saw in Tomb of the Spider Queen, get in just the front walls down in the early part of the game can give you a pretty big jump in terms of that, not just structure control, but experience.
I know this sounds a little bit crazy, but is there any world where maybe Ballistix moves into a Divine Storm over a Divine Shield? I don't know, the Divine Shield opportunity to help the Tracer to be effective. It's just when she's a solo DPS hold up on mid.
Dead.
Yeah, that was a Garrosh and a nice knock, a groundbreaker into the throw. Tist ends up getting another kill here for KSV during this Dragonite phase. And so when we ask ourselves, what, you know, the trade-off with the sacrifice of Magi in the bottom lane for that early Dragonite, is it going to be worth it? I mean, experience-wise, that is answering no, but structurally speaking, they are pulling ahead. And when you would say the lack of macro that they have, or at least the wave clear in the earlier stages, that I think it's even further the yes, even though they are losing those heroes.
So far, so good, as the experience does come out slightly ahead at the end of that, as the Dragonite got quite a bit. SC going in, being aggressive, does not have the Pulse Bomb available, but looking to stack that up. Sake is going to have to be extra careful there on the Malfurion as he does step forward in those future instances. Maybe even try and bait out a little bit of Tracer dive into a Twilight Dream. We'll see how that plays out in the later parts of the game. As it stands, Ballistix moving towards their Knights.
And part of the reason I was just wondering, would we see that kind of adjustment, is just normally we don't see, you know, Tassadar can hold his own in survivability. Tyrael, Leo pretty much are, for the most part, pretty self-sufficient. Tracer's the only one that demands that much cost, but you already have the Tassadar to kind of help out with that, Tyrael to help out with that. And, I mean, we looked at this composition and said, where's the damage, right? Typically, if you don't have enough damage to the hero, it's not like Divine Storm's the damage you're making up for, but the crowd control and the lockdown might be something. I mean, Malfurion struggles to be able to heal through that, generally speaking. and, you know, can't deal with that burst, but also it's hard to clump up into the composition. There is a Garrosh, there's a Blaze, and a Malfurion. So now when I say that, I'm like, probably not. Probably Divine Shield.
Dread, every single member on the battleground is coming down. There's the Pulse Bomb. Reset gets blown up. He's going to have a reset on life there as he's sent back to the Hall of Storms. They now, for Ballistix, have managed to steal that camp, but that literally brought down everybody. That's how tense these moments are right now, that you're not willing to give an inch, but Ballistix getting their first kill of the game allowed them to get that camp.
Question is, what else are they able to get with it here in this time window? Because for the most part, other than the sacrifice of somebody in the bottom lane, which now death timers are getting severely longer, they have not been controlling most of the rotations, again, other than that Night Camp or the sacrifice. Tis moves up for the bottom shrine. Rich is under a lot of pressure. There goes the Pulse Bomb. Frisbee thrown, not even necessary. That's a kill here for Ballistix. They control the top shrine, most likely able to convert this one, as well as they have Tyrael to make the transition down if they want this a 4 versus 3. Malfurion ended up backing, and that is even worse now for KSV. They end up positioning a little bit more ambitiously than you would expect with your Malfurion getting out of here. Moggy now going to try and claim it for himself.
SC doing work right now. He's got another Pulse Bomb really close by. Tist recognized he cannot stay by for much longer. He falls back with that amount of control. That kill, it's led to the control over these lanes once more, Dread. And Ballistix, second Dragon Knight of the game. They're stretching this lead a little bit into a full level. And with 10 quickly approaching, we're going to see exactly how aggressive they want to be.
All right, middle four now being the heavy focus. When this drops, it's not 10 quite yet, but it's very, very close. So much so the KSV likely got to be able to back out here. Even the trickle down might be enough to kick it right over the edge. There she be. Heroics online. So what do we see happen here? Bottom seems to be the focus because the Giants. Makes sense to get this clear here. We did see the Dragon Knight and the first of the game transition towards top to be able to help with that front wall. Leo does have an advantageous lane, and taking out one of those turrets should be enough. So I like the fact that they aren't committing more resources towards top, focusing now towards bottom. And if we see this bottom four converted, now that feels like it's very much Ballistix game, you know, in control. They have that what they need to be able to claim this Eastern Class Championship.
Yeah, if they could get down the well here, I think that would be an even bigger win, but they kind of ran out of time. But Rich going back on the backside, we see the cleanse, we see the sanctification was forced out onto Hooligan because the play of Tist got that flip back on Gera.
And it should be noted, you know, if Tist has heroics, that is not a surviving Hooligan. No, that would have been immediate a Warlord's challenge to be able to follow that up, as they just now pick up their heroics.
With that, though, Malfurion now has to make the decision on does he go Tranquility or does he go Twilight to be the potential follow-up behind something like that. Ends up with Tranquility.
If there wasn't, oh man, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm still a little bit torn. Good Wraith Walk here from Zhong Ha. A Dragon Arrow is going to be used, but there is no root. Definite miscommunication there. So there was an opportunity to get that kill still, even after the Wraith Walk, but Sake immediately went upwards considering the minions and not into the range to get the root after that Wraith Walk. And that is going to be a cooldown that Ballistix wants to capitalize on.
Hooligan getting poked away there by Reset as he throws the grenade out as Hooligan walks away, but we have a full level lead on the side of Ballistix. 1 fort down on the mid side of KSV, and structure control overall in favor of Ballistix as this game is going to start ramping up, Dread. Now that we've got heroics online for both teams, these team fights that we've seen have kind of been one shot, one kill, what's the deal? But now we're going to be seeing a little bit more fireworks, and they might start right now.
Right there with the Entomb. Rich already eating a Pulse Bomb, falling very low. Sake there with the Tranquility, immediately used. Blaze still worried about clearing up that Night Camp. 13 talents here is going to be rounded for Ballistix far further than that of KSV, and most likely to happen as this Dragon Age Shrine phase spawns. It's unlikely KSV finds themselves on even footing. The question is, are they willing to sacrifice another Dragonite here, or are they going to try and take this disadvantaged fight?
Yeah, and that's a really good question, because I think if you give up that Dragonite, you concede the bottom fort, which might be under assault here soon. But you concede that, and you potentially can concede that 16 race and things like that. So you have to take a team fight And do you want to take that team fight now, or do you want to take it 15-16, 14-16? We'll see as we find out. 13-12. Nightcamp picked up. There's the taunt, Dreadnought.
No flip immediately after. Keep in mind that Blaze is still on top, so there's no way to take this fight. Jungha taking a lot of damage there. Tis ends up using another ground breaker. Not going to connect. Holy Ground gets the split. Stun coming out from Moggy. There goes the body block. Tis eats a pulse bomb. No, it's not going to be used, actually. He's still alive, still fine. There's the pulse bomb. Tis is out of here. Jungha with that Wraith walk through. Blaze ended up getting that top shrine, but at the cost of a member on bottom, it's not going to matter.
Not going to matter at all, as that now shrine has been picked up. Moggy got to be careful, as he does get the shield there from Tassadar. Hooligan still has that holy ground available, seeing if they were going to try and commit to that. Leo has met Blaze in the mid lane, while this bottom shrine was reclaimed by KSV momentarily. That's a big time wave right there, Dread.
It is. Very much so. They're going to pressure up with it, using that Tyrael shielding to be able to aid it out. Garrosh and Blaze look to be making the rotation now. 13 talent tier here is for KSV. They did manage to stall out long enough to get that talent. Now it's the question is do they get the fight that they want? Keep in mind, every initiation we've seen from them, or at least the one major one where they're initiating, the distance to safety being so clear and easy for Ballistix, and the miscommunication allowed them to get that survivability.
This is a big-time talent tier for me when I look at KSV's side, just because of the Tracer factor. You've now got Ice Block for Malfurion.
Yeah.
You've got Neo Steel Coating for Taika, so you now have so many different ways to deal with the potential threat of that Tracer diving that back line. We'll see how it happens. There's the taunt, there's the flip. Hooligan's going to be there. The Dragon Arrow is going to be met as well. Hooligan did use the Sanctification in the middle of that. They just didn't have any follow-up. Ballistix still looking for an opportunity.
Bomb. Not enough healing coming out from Sake over the wall, and there is a kill onto Garrosh. Blaze again in the middle lane, dealing with those minions. I can't help but feel like Kyocha needs to be with the rest of the team. There are so many times where they're willing to let not just one, but it seems like multiple initiations here. And I mean, let's be real here. How often on Dragonshire is it a map that you're willing to sacrifice a team fight whatsoever, the positioning for that, for one of those shrines? The answer is more often than not, if you lose that fight on bottom, again, you're not going to win the shrine after. And that's costing KSV a lot here. That's 4 kills, now a Dragonite 16 talent here after the bottom fort ends up getting converted, or at least after one of those turrets.
This minion wave will get them just that as they push forward. Keep wall will fall. Rich and team, they cannot step out. You can see the reason why as being that holy ground. The minute anybody steps out, Hooligan might try and capitalize on that. The wall is nearly down as we see Psionic Echo picked up for Tassadar, ripping through that. I think right now with that DK falling so rapidly, I think front wall is pretty much all they're really going to get out of this raid.
Blaze is displaying himself, and this is one of the moments where that definitely makes a lot of sense, considering the 16 talent here. It's unlikely they can get this defense. Wait a minute, he's going to go for the collapse. They're going to try and make me force this. Tis, unable to hit the ground breaker. There's the Odin. Kicks the Odin away. Kyocha, no jet propulsion yet. Holy ground deters any further advance of KSV.
Forcing out the Odin, I think, is a pretty significant exchange there. Just by the threat, you get a little bit of the keep. You get a big heroic, and you now have yourself a level and a half lead if you're Ballistix. But now the window will look a lot different just because the chase for 20 is a little bit longer with 4 level difference there. So Ballistix will be on edge, but they still have all of their forts standing, and that is a major difference when you look over at the side of KSV.
Is there one thing I want to bring up here when looking at how these fights have gone down, other than the lack of, kind of Blaze, is that now that bottom lane is lost the fort on the side of KSV, it's very easy for Ballistix. That is going to be the best lane for them to try and pick a fight into, because again, the kind of retreat is there. And so what I feel like there's already been problems with the top lane and how much has been done with consideration towards that, and I'm trying to highlight that is only going to be amplified if the decision-making continues forward that KSV has had. That time window where they have that kind of breathing room has been cut down significantly, and it's already looked difficult for them to know the proper, kind of transitions, or at least hold off Ballistix from initiating.
KSV starting to run out of opportunities as the Siege Giants cannot be conceded here to push alongside with the Knights, because that keep would fall. Said KSV, they hearth back. They're making a stand here in this bottom lane once more. They're going to try and hold. KSV, you talked about Kyocha needing to be in these fights, I think this is it. If he's going to hold mid, that fight will happen in this bottom lane right now. It has to happen, else we're 2 levels away from 20 for Ballistix.
All right, so watch this. We see Blaze make the rotation to top. He shows the information. Leoric's on mid, so rotational advantage heavily for Ballistix. Giants pressuring on bottom. I told you about the fort being gone on bottom. This is the best fight for them to take. Now Leo is going to beat Blaze in rotation heavily here. Here comes the Wraith Walk from Zhongha, and not even needed. There's the Entomb forcing out the Sanctification. Blaze is trying to make his way down, but he's going to be a couple seconds out. It looks like he'll make it in time, but it did force the Trank.
Tranquility. No longer available. It's more of a panic boat, but Leo's now going to make his way up to the top lane, get that top shrine, neutralize this, so it's 1-1.
But this is now where Ballistix wants them, because the distance to safety is far better for them than KSV Black, and that's that timing window I was talking about. It's going to be cut down drastically. Leo picks up top, can make the flank down here. They can stall out this defense effectively because the initiation is only going to be a Garrosh or a Dragon Arrow as long as Magi gets the cleanse. And then that's where you get the collapse, force the initiation on bottom. Especially with the minion wave pushing, they actually don't even have to convey the information to the Leo. Blaze is going to get the scout out. Very well done by Kyocha, now needing to make his way down to be able to join in the skirmish. And this is where Ballistix, they force, and KSV has to hold their own, or otherwise this is going to be GG. There's the Entomb.
The Entomb is out. The Pulse Bomb already went out on the backside, however. Zhongha going around in that Wraith form, trying to find an opportunity, unable to find it. Kyocha and Tist manning the front line for KSV. We'll have to wait, get another reset on that Pulse Bomb until we see another engagement here from Ballistix.
Leo goes back to mid, looks to help get the 19. Hanzo actually making the rotation maybe to get a pick onto him. Somebody needs to go and be a bit more aggressive, falling below 50%, but seems to be fine thanks to the Wraith Walk. Tis now moving up.
Leo,
Dragon
with the
Arrow.
long distance. Dragon Arrow just missed there, Dread. That was so close. Dread, 19 now here for Ballistix. KSV, they're going to have to start getting desperate before long. They're going to have to take a fight because I do not think that they can risk being choked out by the 20, giving up potential another Dragon Knight.
Leoric is going to be the collapse now. Gets the Wraith Walk before the jet propulsion. Zhongha says, thank you for the cooldowns. I'm going to keep up this dance between middle and bottom, because it is getting them such a big lead. Hooligan constantly using that Eldruin in that choke, waiting for somebody to overstep their bounds. He'll get the follow-up and get the kill, and now Ballistix is just creeping up on 20.
I can't help but think that they just missed one of their rare windows that they're going to have. They're going to turn their attention to the top lane, and by doing so, I don't know if they'll get the Leoric
Wait, no, he's too far out. Oh, never mind. Wraithwalk already there. You know, it turns out that thing's distance pretty good.
Yeah, post 13, 16, not bad. But now, if they try and push forward at any point, we'll now see the bottom lane under assault because there will be the Siege Giants pushing. The level 20 will be here as well, and if we get the Archon out, that keep might fall, and then there's going to be the threat of the Dragon Knight. So this is an insanely tense moment for KSV.
KSV, I think the only place they're going to get a fight is by making an unpredictable rotation. And the only place on Dragonshire that you can make a truly unpredictable rotation, unless you have informational advantage, which is anything but the case for KSV, is top lane. In between the divide, as you see, between the Dragon Knight turn-in and, you know, kind of that choke up towards the top half of the map, I would like to see them try and make that happen, but if this Dragon Knight gets channeled,
it's interrupted for now. 20's here. The toss, the taunt. Magi's going to be there, but that is going to be Uther. Odin is out on the side of KSV. They're trying to fight here. Magi is falling low, but he does have redemption. He will be back in this fight. Spreading out the armor. We see Sanctification down as well. Magi keeping his team alive, but buried alive. Kyocha gets knocked back, but he's alive, Dread.
He's able to keep himself up here, and now KSV wants this fight. Big red button, and damage coming out from that Odin is real serious here, but Tis out too far. So SC throwing down that damage. Huge room from Sake. Might buy him enough time, but Kyocha too slow. Too much damage is there, and he's forced to drop. Pulse Bomb eaten by Rich keeps him alive. Zhongha goes out too far, but that is a Leoric. The trade-off here is going to be definitely advantageous for Ballistix. They will have the 20. They will have the opportunity to get this Dragonite, and the Leoric will be able to match the Blaze spawn time.
Well, we've got the DK. The keep in the bottom lane is low. 20 is almost here for KSV, but Odin is still 45 seconds away. That's one of their best defensive tools, as well as Hanzo. The defense will have to be stout here on the side of KSV as Ballistix is marching towards this bottom lane. Keep in mind, core just beyond that Dreadnought. Ballistix might be looking for the end.
Zhongha about to res here from the Leoric Ghost form. Goes in, look for the buried alive Entomb here. Sake, no, not going to be the target yet.
DK's down.
DK,
but
falling
Archon
low.
is still up here. Shields starting to fall on this core. Ballistix is still here, buried alive as the Entomb goes in. The Entomb does not confirm the kill on
No
the
damage
test,
on core.
and now Ballistix has to fall back, Dread.
No damage on core, and they actually managed to hold this off. The Night Camp did secure the top 4, so now for the first time, KSV has an advantageous lane for them. That is colossal. All this choke Ballistix has had on bottom is purely because the lack of control of the map KSV has had. By no means does it stall it out to dead even, but now KSV can manipulate the map to function and force a fight that complements them for the first time this game. Since the beginning of getting caught within the laning phase, this is now near even, much like we saw over the last one. So back and forth here, Jay.
Insane. This is an insane moment here as
Look at
KSV. The flank is there. Let's see if they can catch somebody out. They're going to invade the Night Camp, see if they can force a fight while the response is there for Ballistix. I don't know if Ballistix can or KSV can do much with that other than force out a rotation, look for something elsewhere to open up this map, neutralize that bottom lane. They're definitely going to have to neutralize that, push that out. There's Siege Giants available, there's Knights available, but I think in the midst of that, they might want to try, see if they can find an opportunity to get a fight in their favor to really turn this around.
This is a really awkward situation because territorial spells definitely are more dominant for Ballistix, right? I mean, especially post 20. The Buried Alive mixed with the opportunity of having the Sanctification, the Holy Ground. I didn't know if they would get enough time to get this camp down below and be able to stack it with the Giants, but the KSV actually, or excuse me, Ballistix ends up forfeiting here. Tassadar spending a lot of time on top. Tassadar still showing himself on top, and KSV should capitalize. They're going to get it very aggressive, almost catching SC.
If that minion landed on SC, that might have been one dead Tracer. Instead, he survives. And now the Siege Giants plus the Knights. This late in the game, you can push through. You can see the Psionic Echo. There's the Psy Storms go down trying to defend. But look at the Eldruins. That's where the Holy Ground lies. See if they're willing to pull the trigger and dive. They want to neutralize this lane, Tread.
Big red button. They're going to be able to get the stall out here. Odin up. Reset falling a bit low. Going to throw nuke one. Tassadar shields. Trying to get the deterrent as Scattering Arrow not going to connect. Hooligan with that Holy Ground. Jung Ha feigning with this Wraith Walk. No team backing out, worried about this objective, or at least KSV.
SC going in!
He misses. Pulse Bomb not landing. Knock up there, 3-man. Jet proposing 2-man. There goes the follow-up. A big nuke going to be dropped. Moggy falling very low. Does have redemption. Jung Ha going through. Wraith Walk weakening everybody. Scattering Arrow hits SC, but not enough to get a kill. Keep falling now, below 50%.
But the Odin has expired, and that's the main thing. No Pulse Bomb available. Ballistix can't go. SC went for the big home run play and missed. He will have an opportunity later, but it is not now. But KSV did not get the keep down. That's what they went for. That was the big play. They were unable to get it. Anything beyond that would have been great. They were not able to capitalize, but they are going to make their stand here in this bottom lane. They are still looking for a fight.
They're very, very low for Ballistix. So much poke coming out from Rich there on the Hanzo. I thought for a moment KSV Black might go for a flank through the Knight rotation. That's actually really common when you get that retreat. Bait them a little bit too far out, cut them off in the rotation. But now, even without that keep down, just having a double fortless top and bottom lane for KSV, this is night and day compared to the last Dragon Knight phase that we saw them deal with Ballistix. It is very realistic that they can choose a fight that they want as long as they deal with that bottom lane, which is where you're going to see them focusing on this pressure. Leo making the rotation down, choosing to pick the fight where he wants. Keep in mind,
They might try and use Odin again here, Dread.
if they push too far in, Leo might go for a cheeky kind of backdoor play onto the Dragon Knight, at least get that threat, then back in, and then essentially put KSV in a lose-lose scenario.
SC, look for him to try and make the big play. He's got that Pulse Bomb charged up now. I think after that last one, he's going to look for the big play. Siege Giants are going to be picked up. They would like to save Odin, but if they need it, I think they'll use it to commit towards the keep here. Siege Giants making their way forward as KSV on the doorstep of Ballistix. Any team fight will win this game at this moment.
SC gets the shield. See if he goes in. Looks for that Pulse Bomb. Giants now going to match up. Hanzo and friends here. KSV looking to get the keep. Jung Ha with the Wraith Walk. Holy Ground's just going to buy a bit of time. Reset, or excuse me, Tist unable to get the combo that he's looking for here. Good dismount coming up from SDE there on Tassadar.
KSV has literally walked down this bottom lane for the last 2 to 3 minutes, and they have taken the keep and even this game up. Dreadnought, it is so dead even. Leo's flanking, but you can see at the top right, Rich is stealing a Siege Giant, trying to get some control. This bot lane is so...
Watch the Dragon, I guarantee. Remember last time Rich was willing to throw it out of fog? This game has gone long enough that Rich is going to want to make a play. If SC does not be the man who does it, you know that Rich will. Throws out the scouting. No Hanzo arrow or Dragon arrow quite yet. now escorting these giants through bottom. There's no way they can end the game off. There's no big red button. There's no way. Even if they...
it's way too much to walk into, but they have been feeling this bottom lane for several minutes, just holding this. There's been no movement towards that top lane in quite some time.
Oh, but
KSV,
they might be getting a little bit greedy here.
They're going to have a tough time, because if we see one of these teams make a play towards their Knights, that's the only thing that can force the rotation of either team right now.
Rich starts bottom Knights. KSV wondering where is Ballistix on this map. Tis starts the back. Leo not yet to show. Still not yet to show. Invade onto KSV Knights. Bottom Knight camp picked here for KSV.
Who's going to blink first, though, Dread? I mean, you've still got to deal with the bottom Knights.
They're going for it. Wait a minute. Let's see. Backing channels, are they completed? Hooligan? Yes, we see 3 make it back. Rich, only one to show on bottom.
Oh, my. Ballistix here to make the stand. Knights are pressuring. You need to get that Knight down, which is supplying that spell armor. It's about 25% health and falling. Catapults now mounting behind. KSV Black aggressing forward. This is the deepest that they've been. Kyocha going in. Odin is out as well. Archon is out. We have our fight as the Entomb goes in. The big silence, the taunt, and the first to fall is going to be Garage.
Rich ends up getting the disengage over the wall. Jongha with that Wraith walk in. Kyocha now trying to find his way out, but the body blocks are going to be here for Ballistix. Not enough damage there on the big red button to get the deterrent. 2 members of KSV are dead. Jongha is not going to let them get the retreat. It is so long until they can make it back into their base. And if they go down, this will be Ballistix claiming this championship here at the Eastern Clash. Sake now on the retreat.
SC gets the kill. That's going to do it, Dreadnought. That's the home run play. Ballistix, KSV, after staying in that bot lane so long, they pushed forward. They put Ballistix to the brink and somehow have come back in this game, and Ballistix will march down the bottom lane. GG is out. Ballistix has now crowned themselves the Eastern Clash champions, and they have done so in dramatic fashion, coming from the lower bracket here against KSV Black, the dominant team throughout the first few days, and coming back from a 3-0 defeat earlier in the day to this team to crown themselves champion.
Not any better way to put it there, Jay-How. There is Ballistix claiming themselves this Eastern Clash championship, the 2nd time in a row here, even as the underdog, if you will, compared to KSV and some of the expectations that we had from them.
There are your champions, Ballistix. They have recreated the magic here in Taipei to take down their rival. It seems no matter where we're at, Dreadnought, KSV and Ballistix are going to be that at the top of Korea.
These guys, I mean, they just show up. They put up games here every single time that we watch them compete against one another. But Ballistix is the team to come out on top this time, and they are going to be your Eastern Clash champions.
In dramatic fashion, Ballistix came back in this series, Dreadnought. It's just been unbelievable.
We do have an interview, I believe, here with the winners, so we're going to throw it over to host to see that closeout. Actually, not the interview, but the closing here with the host.
Ballistix for the champion of HGC Clashing. Yeah, congratulations to Ballistix for the champion of Eastern Clash. 上次恭喜我们的 Ballistix 再一次呢蝉联了我们亚太对决总冠军，给你们掌声好吗？ 축하합니다. 수고하셨습니다. 哇，这一战真的是非常的远呢。今天的第一场呢，也是由我们的 KSV 对上 Ballistix， 但是呢 ，Ballistix 一度呢被打进了败部，但是最后呢败部复活，再次抢进我们的总冠军赛，也是再度蝉联了我们的王者宝座。哇塞，这个顶尖对决不愧呢是媲美这世界大赛，真的是非常精彩，非常的刺激。那同时我们也给我们所有主播赛品以及所有的一些战队热情的掌声好吗 ？Let's give a big round up for the all teams and all the casters for the outstanding performance. 哇，今天真的是非常紧张、非常刺激的比赛，但是谢谢他们为我们带来这么精彩的比赛。而且呢，大家有没有看到最后的一场比赛？没有看到一刻，你真的不知道到底谁会赢，对不对？说实在话了，我真的已经是看到了，就是有点心神不宁，有点胃酸过多，非常非常的紧张。但是还是很恭喜他们呢，再度蝉联的冠军。毕竟呢 ，KSV Black 也是我们这一次亚太顶尖对决当中非常受到瞩目，也很有具冠军相的一支队伍。但是 Ballistix 毕竟也是我们去年亚太对决的冠军，所以实力坚强当然是不在话下。所以呢，非常感谢我们所有的玩家朋友这3天的热烈的支持。那最后呢，我们就要把时间再次交给我们的主播来访问一下，究竟现在冠军心情怎么样 ？Thank you for joining us the past 3 days at the last part of Eastern Clash. Let's hear from the winners how they feel now. 最好。
All right, I am here with our winners of Ballistix, and we are joined by SC after this thrilling series. And SC, I gotta know, man, after that series, it was one hell of a series. How do you feel?
우선 승철 선수 우승을 축하드립니다. 지금 기분이 어떠신가요?
제가 이제까지 좀 경기력이 마음에 좀 많이 안 들었는데 결승전은 그래도 제 역할을 좀 한 것 같아서 그래도 되게 기쁜 것 같아요.
I'm not happy about my performance until the grand finals, but I'm happy about I think I played well on grand finals.
Well, you seem to be full of a lot of emotion right now. I gotta know, take me through that last game, that last sequence. It was a long, drawn-out fight that we saw. Take me through the moment of that last team fight and the moment of victory when you knew you were gonna win.
지금 이제 마지막 결승 경기까지 정말 오늘 오랜 시간 동안 경기를 펼쳤는데요. 언제 발리스틱스가 우승을 할 거라고 생각을 하시게 됐나요?
마지막 경기까지 솔직히 좀 많이 힘들 거라고 생각했어요. 저희가 후픽이 좀 많이 픽밴 할 때 후픽이 좀 많이 불리해가지고 마지막 판에 후픽이었는데 제가 좀 저를 위한 조합을 했거든요. 마지막 판에. 근데 팀원들이 잘 따라와줘서 네, 마지막 그 순간에 잘 된 것 같아요.
There were a lot of turmoil during the game, but when the draft phase on the last match, the players they pick and ban for me. So at that time, I think we can run the tournament.
That's really awesome to hear. And, you know, I got to ask, knowing that you're going to be going back to compete in HGC Korea immediately after this, just wondering, what is this going to do towards the confidence of, you know, Ballistix and SC and the performance there, or just the thoughts about the, you know, level and what that means for the future going forward?
이제 이스턴 클래스를 마치고 바로 다음 주부터 HGKR 페이지 1 파트 2를 개막하고 참가를 하게 되는데요. 이번 이스턴 클래시에 대해 있었던 그 성적과 이 결과가 앞으로 있을 HGKR에서 어떤 영향을 미치게 될까요?
일단 HGCKR에서 이번 시즌에도 솔직히 그 자신감이 좀 높았는데 2등으로 좀 아쉽게 마무리했는데 이번에 이스턴 클래시 우승하면서 다시 자신감을 좀 찾은 것 같아요. 그래서 좀 기대해볼 만한 것 같아요.
I think we can fully confident to HGKR page 1 part 2 because we won the Eastern Clash 1. Yep.
It's very awesome. And then I've just got to ask, you know, any shout outs that you have for friends, family, any of the supporters at home, sponsors, just, you know, the mic's yours.
지금까지 이제 발리스틱스를 응원해준 가족이라던가 팬들 그리고 친구들에게 한 말씀 해주시겠어요?
일단 지금 계속 끝까지 지켜봐 주신 분들께 되게 감사드리고 일단 시청자가 10,000명이 넘었다는 소리를 좀 들었어요. 그래서 네, 좀 많이 봐주셔서 되게 감사드리고 그리고 저희 부모님, 저희 팀들 다 부모님한테 자랑거리를 만들고 가서 되게 행복한 것 같아요.
First, thank you for watching all of the fans, and I'm really happy. We had a huge viewership on the platform, and all of the family and the fans, and especially parents of my teammates. I really want to thank them.
Well, it was a very well-earned victory there, Jae-Hao.
Yeah, SC, congratulations to you and your team, and we wish you all the best in the future. But Dreadnought, we've seen an amazing closeout here towards our Eastern Clash. We've been treated with a delightful 2 weeks of clashes between our Western and Eastern, sending us to 7 games.
It was, I mean, amazing, you know, and luckily we had this guy to be able to perform for us here today with the games. You know, I think that is going to be it for us here at the Eastern Clash. Thank you very much, everybody at home, for tuning in. And keep in mind that HGC all over the world is going to be starting very soon, so keep your eyes out for that.